Hi, welcome to the PLY Spinners Guild. I am JC Boggs Faulkner, and I'm going to be your host with the PLY Spinners Guild. And what that means is that while I will be teaching a bunch of spinning, I'm also going to kind of introduce you to the teachers, to the guest teachers, to the speakers. I'm going to interact with them, I'm going to talk with them, I'm going to talk with you, and I'm just going to guide us through this guild experience. I'm really excited to do it. I have lots of fun plans. I'm just really excited, and I'm excited you're here. I'm thrilled and grateful and thankful for all of the people that made this possible. And if you are one of the founding members through the Kickstarter, I am super grateful to you. Really grateful. I didn't know so many people would be so interested and so happy to do this, and I can't wait to really explore all of spinning with you, all of it. I mean, we have years and years to do this, and so we're not going to rush. We're going to take things a step at a time. We're going to start at the beginning. We're going to do everything. We're going to talk about everything. We're going to learn everything. And I'm really so grateful that you made this possible. And if you weren't able to get into the Kickstarter, I'm still super glad that you're here. I'm grateful that you're here because you will keep us going. I am grateful for all of the seasoned spinners that know so much, that have taught me so much through the years. I'm glad you're here. You'll keep us on our toes. I am glad for all the new spinners because you are what keeps us going. You are the future of spinning, and without you, we stop. And so I am, have I said I'm grateful? I'm so grateful. But let's talk about the guild. Let's talk about what it's going to be. It's going to be a celebration of spinning. It's going to be a celebration of learning. It's a celebration of wheels and spindles and fiber, all different fibers and wools and silks and cottons, even synthetics. It is everything about spinning. And we have so long to delve into everything. I just can't wait. So here's the plan. There will be seasons. This is season 1. Is this season 1? Maybe this is just the introduction to the guild. Season 1 is about foundations. So in season 1, we will cover kind of the range of spinning, from drafts to wheels and spindles and fiber types and plying and measuring. So kind of like a brief introduction, an overview of the entire span from fiber to finishing. So that's kind of foundations, because I don't want to make people that aren't familiar with plying or long draw, I don't want you to have to wait until season 2 or 5 or 8 to at least get a taste of that. I want to do an overview. So that's what season 1 is, a foundation. And season 2 will really dive in to worsted. And in every season, we'll do everything about it, right? So every season will have a little bit of color, a little bit of prep, a little bit of drafting, probably a lot of drafting, some finishing, some texture. It'll have a little bit of everything with how it informs, how it affects, and its relationship with the topic of the season. So we'll do seasons on worsted, on woolen, on color, on plying. We'll do seasons on bulky and fine and everything we can think of. We will cover it in depth. We will just roll around in spinning and celebrate it and each other. So that's kind of what the seasons will be. Each episode, so the seasons will have, say, between 8 and 12 episodes, depending on how meaty the season is, how meaty the topics are. So we'll have 8 to 12 episodes, right? They'll come out every, say, 6-ish weeks. And each episode will have several parts. So I don't want you to feel like you have to sit down and watch 2 hours or 3 hours of spinning all at one go. That can be overwhelming. I am sometimes overwhelmed by the hugeness of having to watch a huge amount of information and consume it and remember it. So every episode will have several parts. It could be 6, it could be 12, it could be 17, but there'll be these little bite-sized pieces of information that are easy to consume, understand, remember, go back and watch again if you want to. So that's kind of what an episode will be. But those parts in an episode will be anything from introduction to the topic, exploration of the topic, drafting. If we have guest speakers, it could be a question and answer with the guest speaker. It could be, I tell you what it will be. At the end of every time we have a guest speaker, we're doing this thing called teacher tea, which kind of started as a teacher talk, but then we realized that while I sit and talk with a teacher, we tend to have tea, right? So we're drinking tea and we're talking. And a lot of what we're saying is not just about spinning. It's about their career, their life, how they got into spinning, what spinning means to them, how spinning has changed or evolved through the course of their time spinning. And for some people that's 5 years, for some people that's 10, for some people it's 50. So we talk, and it struck us that it's kind of like tea, like spilling the tea. And so it kind of evolved to be called teacher tea. So every time we have a teacher, we'll do a teacher tea at the end of their kind of first major episode. And so I hope you enjoy those. We'll also put those all in one place in the Guild. So if you just want to go through and watch different teacher teas, you can. There'll also be some question and answer sessions with different teachers. And this is kind of fun. There'll also be, when we have kind of a weighty session, an episode where there's a lot of information and I really want people to spin with me or to spin with the teachers, we'll have this thing called Make a Yarn. We're shortening to MAY because Make a Yarn is kind of long to put on the title of videos, but we'll have this thing called Make a Yarn where we will embrace and celebrate the idea that we don't need to know everything about spinning. We don't need to know everything about wheels or spindles or drafts or fiber. We don't need to know everything to spin a yarn. We start where we are. And where you are might be at the very beginning. Maybe you've never sat down at a wheel before. Maybe you've never picked up a spindle. Maybe you've been spinning for 20 years or 50 years or 60, 70 years. But we start where we are. And so that's what the Make a Yarn is, to make sure you don't feel like you have got to watch everything, wait until the end of season 1 or the end of season 2 before you really start digging into your own spinning adventure. We want you to watch what we're doing, learn from the episodes, and then dig in. Then break out your spinning wheel or your spindle and make a yarn and mess up. Mess up, try again, experiment with different ratios, different pulleys and whirls and drafts and uptakes, fibers, and just enjoy it. We want you to make a yarn. And so every teacher that's coming, most of them, will be guiding you through, spinning with you to make a yarn. Generally, it's at the end of an episode where we use the stuff we've learned in that episode. And so that's kind of a fun thing. And I hope that you'll show us the yarns that you make. I hope that you'll post them in the forums, ask questions, talk about them, celebrate each other's milestones and victories, and learn from each other's, not failures, but things that didn't work out quite as well as we hoped. So that's the Make a Yarn session. So we'll have the teacher tea, the Make a Yarn. The Make a Yarns are kind of like spin-alongs. We want you to spin along with the teacher, with each other. And what else? Every episode, of course, will have the meat, the stuff of the episode. And that's really exciting. And that's going to vary from fiber to draft to color to plying to texture to fiber processing, fiber prep, just everything. Can you tell I'm excited? I'm very excited. And I'm really glad you're here. Oh, a couple things. Sometimes we'll be at this table. Levi made this table for me right before Jill Duarte came to talk about spindles, because we realized that we needed something to put stuff on for supported spindles. And then we realized that it came in really, really handy just for talking about samples. So sometimes we'll be at this table, sometimes we'll be right here spinning on a wheel, sometimes we'll be over there doing teacher tea. Sometimes you will see a cat or two. We have two cats. One is Zaphod and one is Ford. Zaphod is the black and white one. Ford is the black one. They're both loving and sweet, but sometimes they really want to come in the guild room. So instead of having them scratch at the door, we let them in, and mostly they just lounge around. I want you to be patient with us. Be patient with yourself when you're spinning, and I want you to please extend that to us, because this is new to us. We've never done a guild before. We've never really produced videos before, so we're learning as we go. You may find that things change as the episodes go, and we have filmed just because of logistics of teachers. Some of these things have been filmed a little bit out of order, and so you may find that episode 3 has a few more glitches than episode 1 because we filmed it first and we've learned from our mistakes and we've changed things. So please be patient. I figure by the end of season 1 we should have everything kind of worked out. All of our views down, all of our focuses in. So please be patient. We will get it and it will be awesome. Oh, one more thing that's kind of exciting. So this is how the guild is set up right now. We'll probably be changing out the things on these shelves because we want them to match whatever we're teaching. Sometimes there'll be different tools, sometimes different wheels, lots of different fiber. So these will switch out, but we'll also switch out this wall hanging. So this is a window, just gonna tell you. But when you're filming, you can't really have natural light because you have to be able to control the light. And so we have to cover up the window. Now this happens to be a wall hanging that when my middle kid, Arlo, and I went to Peru, we got this. It's all hand spun and hand woven. And so we hung it for this season. So you will see this for all of the first season, the foundation season. But as we move on, my plan is to change out this wall hanging based on what we're learning. So for the worsted season, I already have all of the worsted yarns spun and they are on the loom, and I'm weaving a tapestry that will be for the worsted season that will be here. Levi's gonna make us a frame, so it'll be kind of framed in the window. You won't see the window, but you'll see a framed tapestry there instead. So you'll see that change every season, which I'm very excited about. And it gives me an excuse to have to spin a bunch and weave a bunch. And whenever anyone says, hey, haven't you been doing that a long time? I can be like, dude, it's work. I have to. So you'll see that change. You will also sometimes see it not change. So for instance, we had a teacher come just recently. I'm not going to tell you who yet, but we had a teacher come and we had her go ahead and film something for season 2 while she was here. And because of that, this tapestry will be in her episode of season 2. But for most of the episodes, you will see the tapestry that is for the episode. And I'm excited to make them and hang them and for you to see them. And I hope they will all work out. Okay, so is that everything? I'm sure there will be more, and we'll have little updates, and maybe I'll update this as we go farther on. But yeah, welcome to the guild. Ooh, I didn't tell you this. So my daughter, my oldest daughter, who's 21 and lives in Chicago, she is doing all of our post-production. And so this is really very much like PLY Magazine. This is very much a family affair, right? Everyone that's working on it is one of my kids or me, or the teachers, which I honestly consider part of my family too. They've meant so much for my journey and my growth and my career and my spinning. So yeah, you too. We're all part of this big spinny family. So, shall we get started?